I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP, or any of their athletes.
At 600cc Performance, our roots run deep in CC racing. A leader in fuel injection, dyno tuning, wiring, and diagnostics. With over 15 years of experience in building and tuning, you can count on us to get you to the winner's circle. Whether it is diagnostics, sales, or service, 600cc Performance is your source for everything CC racing. Find out more at 600ccperformance.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP, or any of their athletes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina, of all places, where tonight the stars and cars of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup will take on one of the, quite frankly, one of the coolest racetracks in all of motorsports. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you joining us this evening here, and practice has just finished up. Qualifications getting ready to roll out on to the race course. Taking a look at the season standings here as we get ready to show you everybody who's out here on the racetrack. Ryan Steele is your points leader, but by a narrowing margin week after week, as you're going to start to see the drop weeks come into play here. 995 the total for Ryan Steele, 983 for Brandon Buckberger, 982 for Thomas Lewandowski. This is absolutely going to be a three-way shootout as we've hit the halfway point of 2021 season number 3. Pablo Donoso, Jeffrey Stanton round out your top 5 in points. Manuel Paredes, Derek Love, Kevin DeBello, Mike McConville, and Nate Ranke going to be your top 10. With qualifications out on the racetrack, Derek Love set the fastest time on lap number 1. See what he's going to do here on lap number 2, and he goes just a tick slower We'll get the graphics up here on the screen so you can see where your favorite driver is lining up here in qualifying. New quick time to the top of the board. Thomas Lewandowski, 21.42 seconds, 21.42. The quick lap time for Lewandowski. In fact, 21.419 seconds, the official lap time. Derek Love, Ryan Steele, Brandon Buckberger, Joe Gauthier going to be your top 5. Jeffrey Stanton, John Andre, James Watson, Gavin Lemons, and Pablo Donoso, your top 10. As we work our way through the qualifying session, everybody with the exception of Mike McConville and Josh Batista has gotten their laps in the books. Robert Reynolds was out on track, completed about a quarter of a lap, brought the car right back into the pit area. Take a look here. See Mike McConville out on the racetrack. He's going to get out and underway here as we are approaching the 3-minute mark in qualifications. Checking into the comments here on YouTube. Vamos Pablo Donoso y Valenzuela. Hopefully I got that right. Gonzalo Cardenas. Checking in with a comment on that one. Thank you very much for checking in here tonight, Gonzalo. Following around Mike McConville as Josh Batista also gets out on the racetrack. Rockingham going to be very, very interesting to follow along with here tonight because it's, quite frankly, unlike any other oval on the iRacing service. High banked at both ends of the racetrack, a fairly steeply banked dogleg through the center of the racetrack on the front straightaway. See McConville get down there onto the apron. He's going to move up to third quick, 21.45 seconds. 21.45, the quick time for Mike McConville. Pick up Josh Batista as he makes his way off of turn number 4. Batista going to qualify in the 15th position here, and we're down inside of 20 seconds remaining in qualifying. So looks like Robert Reynolds will not get a chance to get a lap completed here. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in on YouTube and on Twitch, twitch.tv/National Racing Network. Make sure you check us out over there. If you're watching us on the YouTube side of things, not only can we take your super chats, which is about a guaranteed way for me to get your comment on the air, but also we have memberships available as well. Check us out there. Click the join button. As little as $2.99 a month. Throws a couple of bucks our way, but helps make all of these broadcasts possible. Taking a look here at the starting grid for tonight's race as the field starts to form up on the front straightaway. Thomas Lewandowski and Derek Love will occupy the front row for tonight's race. Mike McConville out of New Jersey and the Midwest Ryan Steele on row number 2. Brandon Buckberger, Joe Gauthier on row 3. Jeffrey Stanton, John Andrade on row number 4. James Watson, Gavin Lemons on row 5. Pablo Donoso and Wayne Hutchison on row number 6. Row 7 is going to have Cristobal Valenzuela and Tommy Toe. Josh Batista and Jacob Witt on row number 8. All alone on row number 9 will be Robert Reynolds. Take a look here at the weather conditions tonight provided by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather information for eastern Pennsylvania. 76 degrees ambient temperature. Winds out of the southeast at 7 miles an hour. 113 degree track temperature. That is going to cause some problems for these drivers here tonight. Field rolling off. They will get themselves underway here and get you a good look at that front row. Field will come around and see the green flag this next time by the start-finish line, and this one going to be absolutely spectacular. As always, race fans, you hear the call from the spotter. Start of this one is all yours. Two of 80 laps already very quickly in the scorebooks here. Thomas Lewandowski jumps out. 2.5 second lead over Derek Love. Quickest lap belongs currently to Joe Gauthier, who's down 2 spots from the drop of the green flag, but his last lap, 21.74. Good lap for Gauthier. As Lewandowski checks out, Derek Love, Ryan Steele, Mike McConville, Brandon Buckberger, all going to be working kind of side by side here. Way down to the inside. Oh, what a save. Mike McConville. 3 wide down the front straightaway. He got a couple of tires down onto the apron. Seeing our buddy Manuel Paredes checking in. Good evening, sir. How are you? Hopefully you are doing well here this evening. Buddy Cody Henderson checking in from the High Slide Cup Series. Hopefully you're enjoying the show here, Cody. Thanks for tuning in. The gap already 1 second out front for Thomas Lewandowski. Derek Love has a sizable gap. Call it 0.8 of a second over third place, Ryan Steele. Brandon Buckberger going to have to contend with Jeffrey Stanton, who's working in on his tail tank. Move down to the inside. Derek Love, Ryan Steele going to fight side by side into turn number 3. Multiple grooves are available here. You'll see Love try the crossover. Not going to work as they get back down into turn number 1. Seems like everybody has sort of settled themselves down, gotten into a decent line here. No real side-by-side battles. In fact, we'll show you the intervals here from car to car. Everybody in orange is within a couple of tenths of each other. When you see those numbers turn red, that's when you know somebody's getting real close here. As we look back in the pack at Wayne Hutchison, he's going to be down to the inside of Cristobal Valenzuela down the back straightaway. Our buddies from DeWeather Center checking in. Which one's the driver from Palmerton? They all are, quite frankly. Follow DeWeather Center on Facebook. You'll understand the joke. Little bit of a move up the racetrack. Here comes Brandon Buckberger to the inside of Ryan Steele down the front straightaway. He'll get the pass completed into turn number 1. Derek Love, Jeffrey Stanton tried to follow their way through. Not quite close enough to make that pass happen. Absolutely love that we're going to see some real-world racing coming back here to Rockingham this fall. The Cars Tour will be making a stop down there. You can find the action all season long on pitrow.tv, also carstour.tv. Jeffrey Stanton in that 94 trying to hold off Derek Love. Love's lost 3 spots from the drop of the green flag. Couple of big movers early on here. Brandon Buckberger up 3, Jeffrey Stanton up 3. Derek Love is down 3. Mike McConville down 4 in the process. Slide back in the pack a little bit here. Gavin Lemons getting up on the tail tank of James Watson as they make their way down the back straightaway. Going to be 66 laps remaining this time by the start-finish line. Thomas Lewandowski holding on to that 2-second lead over Brandon Buckberger. And quite frankly, and Ryan Steele, those 2 cars going to be nose to tail as we'll hold on to this battle. Lemons looks down to the inside. He's going to have Wayne Hutchison right with him. Watson sort of hung out there in no man's land on the top side of the racetrack, but gets a good drive off the corner. Watson slides up just a little bit. That may be all the gap that's needed for Lemons to get down to the inside. Not going to be close enough. Nice job there by James Watson. You can hear the drivers checking in on the 2-way radios here, and you'll see that pop up on the side of the right-hand side of your screen. Somebody keys up the radio, starts to talk. You'll get to hear all that excitement. We cannot promise any clean language, depending on if an incident were to happen here, but there's your race leader, Thomas Lewandowski. He has a 2.1 second lead over Brandon Buckberger. Buckberger, Steele, and Stanton going to be in lockstep as they make their way down the back straightaway. And as the drop weeks start to come into play here, when looking at the overall points championship for the Silver Crowns, not a lot of room for error. You really need to maximize the points you earn on a week-to-week basis, especially a night like tonight. 17 cars in this race, 16 in the second split.
Call it when you get to me, Thomas.
I do terrible math here, but I believe that is 33 total cars entered in the race here tonight. Strength of field for this one, 34-15. Not the worst that you'll ever see. All A licenses, pretty much as always here in the Silver Crowns. One of the hardest fought series on the iRacing platform. Slide back in the pack here a little bit. Pick up John Andrade and Pablo Donoso as they fight for the 7th position. Donoso a little bit quicker through the corners here. He's going to big send down into turn number 1. Move Pablo Donoso up to the 7th position. 2, 3, and 4 still pretty much nose to tail here as Donoso able to get away from Andre. Slide back in the pack here. Gavin Lemon's able to get around James Watson. Watson now with about a half second on Cristobal Valenzuela and Wayne Hutchison. Move up at the front of the field. How about Jeffrey Stanton coming around Brandon Buckberger? Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay here. Buckberger slides a little bit high off at turn number 4, and that's all the gap that Jeffrey Stanton needed to get down to the inside. Tyler Shattuck checking in saying, sucks not getting home in time to race. Miss running these things. And again, the Palmerton jokes coming from the guys at the Weather Center. Thank you very much for checking in. Trouble on the racetrack for Tommy Toe. See if we can see what happened here. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay on this one. Got a couple of wheels down onto the apron. Hooks it around. Oh, big contact for the 10 as well. That's Josh Batista. Season of bad luck for Josh Batista continues. Tommy Toe, unfortunately, going to have to head pit side to get the repairs made to that number 14 machine. Following along in this battle for the second position, lap times falling off in a pretty big hurry here. Best lap of the race belongs to Thomas Lewandowski at a 21.696. Caution is out. Caution on the speedway. Looks like possibly trouble here for John Andrade. See if we can get you a Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Oh, yeah, he got a bunch of, well, he made some pretty big contact. And then the car went around there. Let's see who that was that he made contact with. That would have been the 17 of Tommy Toe. So we'll go back to the live look here. Actually, the car he made contact with was Joe Gauthier in the 17. See who we might have available here to sneak a quick word with. See, we can't get a quick word in here with Jeffrey Stanton. And Jeffrey, I tell you what, bud, that number 94 machine looks pretty darn good out there, up 5 spots from qualifying. What'd you find here? Was the car more set up for the race?
Honestly, I just loaded it off the truck last second, didn't practice, and just sent it. I burnt the right front off. I'm just hoping I can work this weight jacker and keep it up front here.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it here. The lights, I believe, are going to go off on the iRacing safety car. At least they should this next time by the start-finish line. So Jeffrey Stanton entering this race completely blind. Oh, the comments are fantastic. Did we just witness a stubbed toe? I see what you did there. That one works. Seeing some of the cars here down to the inside. Actually, one car heading down the backstretch pit area. Not entirely sure what the point of that would be, other than you got to really slow down, I guess, maybe? No idea. There you go. That's Jacob Witt heading down the backstretch pit lane. Pretty rare that we see that used here. It's Thomas Lewandowski, Jeffrey Stanton, Brandon Buckberger, Ryan Steele, Pablo Donoso, your top 5. Joe Gauthier, Derek Love, Mike McConville, James Watson, Gavin Lemons, your top 10. Stanton up 5 spots from the drop of the green flag. Donoso up 6. Good run for both of those cars. Derek Love, Mike McConville down 5 spots apiece. So lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Lap number 34 already in the books, rapidly approaching the halfway point. Green flag's in the air. We're back underway. Lewandowski gets out to a fantastic restart. Stanton and Buckberger going to be right there as well. How about Ryan Steele, Pablo Donoso staying nose to tail? Here comes Donoso looking down to the inside of Steele into turn number 3. Steele's got to run it way up the racetrack through 3 and 4. Move Pablo Donoso up to position number 4. He's going to lose a little bit of time here. They'll almost clips the outside retaining wall on the exit of turn number 2. All the gap that Ryan Steele needs to get back down to the inside. Donoso going to fight back. That Cristal number 5, the bright yellow machine down to the inside. To the outside, the 4 of Ryan Steele. James Watson getting racy back here with Mike McConville as well. This is the point in the race where you're really going to start to see the back end want to come loose on these race cars. Seeing Brandon Buckberger keying up the radio at least. Donoso inside of Ryan Steele once again.
Pedal seconds, I forgot to let you go. What was that? My brake pedal sticking, so I figured I'd let you go. Alright, James. Okay.
Pretty interesting to hear the drivers checking in here. They know how difficult these cars are to drive. Pablo Donoso, Ryan Steele going to continue their battle side by side. Fantastic fight here. Out in the front, Thomas Lewandowski up by 0.6 of a second, continuing right where he left off. Any other battles we have are pretty significantly deeper in the pack here. We are just past the halfway point in this one. Let's get you the full field rundown. Thomas Lewandowski going to be your race leader. He'll hold on to the top spot by 0.75 of a second over Brandon Buckberger, who's locked in a pretty tight battle with Jeffrey Stanton, who runs in the 3rd position. Good run for both of those cars. Already passing a handful of these Silver Crowns. Ryan Steele runs in the 4th position. He's got Pablo Donoso once again looking to his inside. Donoso, big send into turn number 3. He'll get the pass completed. James Watson almost had to back out of it just a little bit there. "22 minutes in the books and 44 laps down." Once again, fantastic race out of the iRacing Sprint Car Cup. James Watson able to come around Ryan Steele. Good run there for the number 39.
Shit. Sorry. I got tight, my bad.
Side-by-side battle here. Brandon Buckberger, Jeffrey Stanton. Buckberger going to come back around Stanton. They'll trade position at number 2.
I'm safe.
Now here's James Watson fighting with Ryan Steele. Watson going to have to run the outside line through 3 and 4. May end up conserving a little bit of tire that way, but it is most certainly not the fastest way around the Rockingham Speedway. Steele comes back down to the inside. Watson going to get a big toe down the back straightaway. The draft going to come into play big time here. These cars punch an absolutely massive hole in the air. As you can see, the 7 of Derek Love getting caught back up. In fact, Derek Love may have a little bit of damage there on the front of that 7 machine. Caution is out. This incident actually started a little bit further back than it may seem here. Gavin Lemons having an issue there in the number 9 machine. We'll see what happened to Gavin. Oh, man, he absolutely launched off of one car. Who was that? That may have been John Andrade. Oh, yeah, he clips the outside wall, goes for a big ride, and absolutely nowhere for Gavin Lemons to go. Good Lord, that wreck was huge. How about it? Let's get you the onboard here with Gavin Lemons. Sees the incident happen to his outside. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's one way to junk a race car. Absolutely yard sailed it down the front straightaway. Tough break there. Let's get you the running order here. Thomas Lewandowski has been relatively unchallenged here in this race as we work lap number 50. And again, caution laps do count here in the Silver Crown Series. Brandon Buckberger runs in the 2nd position. Brandon Buckberger, Jeffrey Stanton have both been very quick, but they have not had anything for race leader Thomas Lewandowski. Fantastic run for Pablo Donoso. That number 5 machine all the way up to the 4th position, up 7 from the drop of the green flag. Ryan Steele, very hit or miss here this evening for the Dog Bear number 4. He's down 1 spot. He's been up. He's been down. He's kind of been a little bit of everywhere. Looking to the inside is James Watson in that very brightly colored Team Watson Racing livery machine. Running just back behind Watson is Derek Love. So we're going to go at least one more lap under the caution flag here. And first stubbed toes, now squeezed lemons. Yeah, that's one way of saying it. Gavin Lemons definitely got the squeeze down to the inside. That margarita definitely very stirred, though. Shaken and stirred, I guess, after watching the replay of that wreck. Taking a look here at Derek Love's number 7 machine. Actually looks okay here at the front end now. There's Mike McConville running in the 8th position. He's another car, down 5 spots from where he started this race. That car looks like it does have just a little bit of damage on the front end of that number 8 Texaco Haviland machine, because you can see how the kind of that front splitter area right at the bottom of the racetrack, little crinkled up. Same cannot be said for the number 6 of Wayne Hutchison. Another of the Dog Bear entries. Hutchinson up 3 spots to run in the 9th position. Cristobal Valenzuela will restart in the 10th position. As the field's gotten the 1-to-go signal, they'll all head up towards the outside retaining wall. Rules on the restarts here. As always on the iRacing platform, cannot pass before the start-finish line on the inside of the racetrack. Cannot beat the leader on the jump start. So that's why you see everybody get up against the outside retaining wall. Restarts are single file. Lap cars have to head to the back. Currently only 4 lap cars in this race. John Andrade, Gavin Lemons, Jacob Witt, and Tommy Toe. Of those 4 lap cars, only Toe is out on the racetrack. Pace car is in, and what do you think, race fans? How about we give you all a shot to crank it up? Much tighter battle at the front of the field. Brandon Buckberger going to be all over the tail tank of Thomas Lewandowski. Pablo Donoso doing a nice job holding on to the 3rd position. In fact, he came around Jeffrey Stanton right on the restart. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay of that one off at turn number 2. Donoso, as always, very aggressive on the starts and restarts. Easily picks that position off from Jeffrey Stanton. So top 5 now settling themselves in nicely. In fact, just about everybody settling in here. Looking back in the pack, Wayne Hutchison going to battle Mike McConville side by side through 4. Hutchison claims that position as McConville going to fall back pretty quickly into the grasp of Cristobal Valenzuela. Once again, starting to see things settle down just a little bit here at the front of the field. Brandon Buckberger, Pablo Donoso, Jeffrey Stanton running nose to tail through 1 and 2. A little bit surprised to see Ryan Steele and James Watson not gaining a ton of ground there. Big move down to the inside. Here's Buckberger and Steele side by side. A little bit of trouble there for Brandon Buckberger. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay of this one. He had Pablo Donoso look to his inside through 3 and 4. Got way up the racetrack. Jeffrey Stanton able to capitalize on it, as was Ryan Steele. That will certainly make the latter part of this race interesting. James Watson taking in the sights of that battle here. Let's go on board here with James Watson. Get you a look at that battle. Listen to all the off-throttle time in these cars. Watson able to come around Ryan Steele and up into the 5th position, and he may make a move here as Buchberger dives way to the inside, tries to block the run off. Watson probably not going to be too thrilled with that here. We're going to be down to 15 laps to go, just a couple of laps from now, so we'll call it 17 to go this time. Manuel Paredes checking in saying, great move by Donoso. Yeah, it was. Fantastic pass. And that's going to get Donoso up into the 2nd position. Currently holding off Jeffrey Stanton. Here's Watson looking down to the inside of the number 3 of Brandon Buchberger. Ryan Steele going to stay right in line with Buchberger down the straightaway. Little secret sauce underneath the hood of the number 13. He's the 39 on the racetrack, but 13 in the timing and scoring window. Best run this season by far for James Watson there in that ZAS Designs National Racing Network number 39. The gap's 0.7 of a second here between Thomas Lewandowski, your race leader, and Pablo Donoso, who runs in 2nd. So we'll hold on to the tight battles back in the field here a little bit. Steele going to look down to the inside of Watson as they get to turn number 1. You really set that pass up way in advance. There you see Ryan Steele able to come around James Watson, but Watson fights tough off the corner. The inside's the shorter way around. The outside, you just keep so much momentum wound up. Really gives you a lot of room to work. Steele, a little bit of a tag slapper. That car getting loose on corner exit. And we are going to see a lot of that as we get deep in this race now. Back ends of these cars getting very light as the fuel has burned off. Absolute cluster of cars now getting single filed out. Mike McConville at the head of that train. So we'll go back to this battle between Steele and Watson. About the same gap here, a little bit further up, the battle for 2nd. Jeffrey Stanton looking to the outside of Pablo Donoso. 10 laps to go for race leader Thomas Lewandowski. Saw Brandon Buchberger key up the radio there, talking to Ryan Steele and James Watson. We'll keep our eye on this fight here at the front of the field as well. Stanton really sends it deep into 1 and 2. He's going to make up a lot of ground. Great run off the corner as well. Stanton looks back down to the inside, not quite close enough. Donoso slams the door on corner entry. Once again, Jeffrey Stanton down to the inside on the entry to 3. Donoso goes way up the racetrack. Going to try to get that number 5 machine wound up, but it is not going to work. 6 to go here at the Rock. Ryan Steele, Brandon Buchberger battling side by side. James Watson had a fantastic look at that into 1. They're almost making contact off of 2. Here's Buchberger looking to the inside. Steele going to try to make the move to the outside work, and he's going to get a little bit of drafting help from James Watson. Dives it down low on corner exit, trying to get the big head of steam built up. The bump draft is possible with these Silver Crown cars, but not altogether advisable either, especially with how loose they are right now. Buchberger and Watson both clear Steele. Watson going to try to get the big run down the back straightaway. Down to 3 to go here for race leader Thomas Lewandowski, who has a 1.2 second lead over Jeffrey Stanton. It's another half second back to Pablo Donoso. This fight almost 3 seconds behind the podium positions. Now 2 laps to go for race leader Thomas Lewandowski. Yellow flag now will send this race to overtime. But it may not matter much here, as there's your race leader off of turn number 4. White flag going to be in the air this time by, and Thomas Lewandowski on his way to win number 4, 2021 Season 3. In 11 starts, currently 3 wins, 6 top 5s.
Good one, Tom.
Get those numbers up just a little bit. 12 starts, 4 wins for Thomas Lewandowski. He picks up the race win here in the Silver Crown Cup at Rockingham Speedway. Picking up the victory over Jeffrey Stanton. Pablo Donoso rounding out your podium. Brandon Buchberger, James Watson, your top 5. Ryan Steele, Wayne Hutchison, Mike McConville, Cristobal Valenzuela, and Derek Love, your top 10. So with that here, we'll get ready for the Victory Lane interviews and see who we may have to talk to here. At least see if anybody's going to jump into the room with us anyway. Let's see if we can get a word in here with runner-up finisher this evening, Mr. Jeffrey Stanton. And tell you what, Jeffrey, that car was pretty darn good. You were talking about how you were a little unsure of what you might have had. All in all, I guess the thing rolled off the truck in pretty darn good shape.
Yeah, I rolled off the truck just with the standard iRacing baseline set and just sent it tonight, honestly. I burnt the right front off a little bit and got tight, and I waited too long to work the weight jacker, which probably hurt me a little bit. And then I didn't realize, so about halfway in the race, my brake pedal was slightly sticking because I had to unplug my computer earlier today. So I just plugged it back in before this race and never got recalibrated.
So you had an adventure, to say the least, here. And ultimately, though, really not a bad run here and not a bad way to kick off the second half of 2021 Season 3.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a good, consistent race in. That's all I was trying to do. So it was fun racing Brandon and Pablo there.
Yeah, they both, you guys, all 3 of you, put on a pretty good show here at the front of the field. And congratulations on the runner-up finish here this evening. Who do you want to thank?
Napa Auto Parts, Rockwell, North Carolina. Everyone else that supports me. And y'all for broadcasting.
All right, well, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. We'll get you back on out of here, and we'll see who else is potentially going to be available here in the next minute or so. I know our third place finisher will not be. We have heard from Pablo Donoso and some of our Chilean friends down there in South America that the language barrier might be a little bit too much for a Victory Lane interview. But if you're watching down there, let us know in the comments, would you like to see a Spanish language broadcast here at the Silver Crown races? Maybe that's something we can work on, a secondary audio feed of the race in Spanish here for you folks, because we love the fact that you're tuning in. We want to make sure you're going to get everything you could possibly get out of it. But it looks like that might be all we have here for this evening, a little bit surprisingly. So with that, we'll head back to the live look and get ready to head on out of here. Coming up tomorrow night, once again, a doubleheader of race action. Final doubleheader on Tuesday nights for a little while here. Sprint Car Cup at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be followed by the 12th and final round of the Carolina Simworks TNT Series, their second series of the season. That group of folks will move to align their schedule with the iRacing schedules. They run the same 12-week lengths, but they were never lined up with it. So they're going to come back at the start of Season 4, so about 5 or 6 weeks off for the Carolina Simworks TNT Series. Coming up on Wednesday night, it'll be the High Side Hustle. Bert Wojcik and Adam Rubright talking everything in dirt racing, sprint cars, dirt modifieds, you name it. It'll be on the High Side Hustle, and check out the guest announcement that we'll have coming up here in the next day or so. Thursday night, doubleheader of racing action once again. The Ezra IndyCar Series kicking things off at 8 p.m. We'll follow that up with the Indy Pro 2000 Series. But with that, we'll wrap up our coverage here from Rockingham Speedway, Rockingham, North Carolina. For everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. We will talk to you soon. Have a great night, everybody.